get started. So, another pretty pretty chill morning we got here. Um, really not too much going on. We had AVCT and VERY come up earlier this morning. Our VERY came up, a massive amount on extremely light volume, uh, but has since pulled back like literally the entire move. Had a little bit of a bump at 7 o'clock, but besides that, really not doing too much. AVCT, similar thing, came up. Looks like aftermarket yesterday on news. Oh god, once I start sneezing, I can't stop. Let me go blow my nose real quick. God. Alright. So anyway, as I was saying, we have a few things that are up, but have pulled back the majority of their move. So probably will not be trading them unless they make a more significant move up. VERY at 7 o'clock actually came up on decent volume, but has since dropped off. So this might be one that will make a nice move back up if the volume comes back into it, but we're gonna have to wait. And AVCT, it's just kind of generally trending down. So highest volume candle of the day is this 5-minute candle back here that was a doji with a massive wick. So probably not going to expect anything too great from that going forward. ATNF also popped up on the scanners at some point. Very light volume though. Don't expect to see much from this either unless volume comes into it. Usually you'd like to see some volume on the first push, but it doesn't really have much. I'll check out the daily for VERY here. So, it looks like above $15 on VERY is all-time highs. So, if we come back above $15 and we actually hold it, might be looking decent for a trade here. Spreads are nice. Sometimes you don't see spreads like this on these type of stocks. Also 1.8 million share float, so really low float, which is nice too. Um, so let me sec here. Fix my screens. Actually show the right thing. There we go. Alright. Yeah, but I mean VERY looking maybe primed for a move here. Depending on if we get volume coming back into it. So you know, maybe on the breakup through 15. We're looking like a buyer here. Take a couple shares and see what happens. Highest volume 1 minute candle is red, but on the 5 minute, that candle is green. So, you know, good and bad. Oh, so I bought coming up over 15, but I got filled real high. We'll see if we come back up over 15 here. Yeah. Oh, it's not looking spectacular. God, the thing really took a nosedive, didn't it? Yeah, that's brutal. So came up over 15. I tried to buy coming up into the 1490s. I got filled at literally the exact top, like 1507, and then it came back down. So, oh, why alarm? I mean, I still think this could be looking pretty good, but it is higher price, so going to take smaller share size on it. So I lost $3 on that first trade. I was looking for a move up towards VWAP, but got wrecked. So not a super big deal there. Try to catch a move from something else today and make all that back. Let's see, VRY and AVCT. See what we're looking at. Don't have shares to borrow on either of those, so only gonna be looking for long trades. We also got GME still in the mix over here. It's looking a little weak this morning, but looked like coming into 7 o'clock, it got bought up quite a bit. Yeah, it was like literally no volume on it between 6:40 and 7:05, and then at 7:05 it got bought up $10. I have to assume that was probably like a single person buying this up. Highest volume candle on the 1 minute is red. So we'll see how it goes throughout the morning. I still am, you know, kind of shaky about whether this is going to go up or not. I saw a post on Wall Street Bets yesterday that was like, I mean, I feel like these people have to be delusional. It was like, I don't know, some post that was like what to do during the mother of all short squeezes, and it was like, make sure to take your profit, like don't buy any Lamborghinis with it. And then it was like there's going to be a lot of economic instability due to this in like the world. I was like, I don't know about that. I think people are I have a feeling that, if the hedge funds got caught out, whatever, obviously they did like 4 months ago in January when it started squeezing. But if they haven't found a way to get out of their position in the last 3 months, like what are they doing? Legitimately, I just don't. I feel like there's no way that these guys are still in so deep that it's going to be like completely catastrophic. Catastrophic if it goes up and they can't just like cover whatever they're holding. But I guess we'll see if I get proved right or wrong. Maybe these guys are right, and the world economy is going to collapse because of GameStop. I somehow doubt it though. I mean, you can still see it's just been trending down, like literally for weeks now. So I don't know. I just don't. I feel like it's much more likely to come down than it is to come up right now. And very very light volume on it yesterday, so might be getting ready to make a move. That is true. It could also go up. I would say it's looking significantly more unlikely though. Besides this, we don't got much to watch this morning. Kind of a slow morning, some would say. VERY seems to be trending down a bit. What else? We got ABCT still kind of just doing its thing. Been below VWAP for a while. I don't foresee this coming back up. I don't even think it's really worth watching. ATNF popped up at 7, but again, not really doing too much. VERY, the one to watch. I was really hoping as it came up through 15 when we came back to all-time highs, we'd make a push back up, get a breakthrough VWAP, but did not end up happening. This thing definitely has the potential to move. It was at like $30 earlier today, $34. So we'll see if we can get a move on it. The daily here. Had a little bit of a descending resistance here on GameStop. So we'd probably like this to stay below 190 here. We think it's going to go lower. Pushes up through 190, then it might make a run back up to through 200. Yeah, I don't know. Just from this chart, it just does not look great. Like the one like saving grace is like this green day, or the day before it lost $70 or whatever was the highest volume day in recent history. It's like, I guess, but it also lost like a ton of money the day before. So I don't know about that. I just don't love the way it looks. BRB real quick. I'll grab some more water. Alright, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Doesn't look like it. uh, I really do want to take a trade on Very if it starts coming back up. Since it has, very, very high potential, but it just keeps pulling further and further away from VWAP right now. Need an actual setup if I want to get in on this. Yeah, now in the 5 minute, the break over 1450 is the play, but it just put in like 6 red candles in a row in the 5 minute. So maybe I'd like to get a little bit of a nicer setup here if we push up towards VWAP and then maybe consolidate a little bit towards VWAP, and then I'll get a buy as we push up. That's probably better at the moment, since it's looking a little weak right now. GME holding above VWAP right now. I guess is nice for that. Yeah, I feel like GameStop is just I don't know, GameStop has not really looked appealing in like I guess a month now. Yeah, back here on March 11th. I mean, it popped up this next day, but pulled back, and then it's just looked terrible since then. So, I don't know what people are seeing that I am not seeing. Because every day when I go on Wall Street Bets, it's just like every post is like, look at these lines, things getting ready to go. But I don't know, just I do not see it. I'll be honest. The 200, the 200-day moving average is still at $45. Absolutely insane. God, what a chart! Look at this thing. What a chart. Well, if it does start going back up, I'll hop on the train. I don't think it's going to squeeze so quickly at this point that you're not going to have time to jump in. It doesn't really look like that's the way it's going. And we still got nothing going on. Hopefully, as we come into 8 o'clock, we'll see some stocks pop up. But just been pretty slow in the last like week or so. At least in the last week-ish, or before this last week, we at least had a few stocks that we could like watch and potentially take trades on. But it's been pretty slow this week. We can look at some of these ones from yesterday that came up, and also, that have now pulled back today. So we got ASTC. ASTC hit a high of $3 yesterday. It's now sitting at 150. So pretty brutal drop off there. God, UTME went up to $107 yesterday. Absolutely insane. It halted up, then it halted down, and then it went up $40 a share. Nuts. But it's back down at $60. So I was watching that at market open, but is like way too expensive for me to take a trade on it. SOS kind of all over the place yesterday. Dropped at market open, came back up, and kind of went sideways for the rest of the day. I'm interested in ASTC. ASTC is looking. This thing is looking prime for a short position here. Yeah, this is the one. We took a trade on this yesterday, but we missed this nice move here. We got this secondary move. Yeah, as it pushed up through to 290. It's interesting to try to look at the way that this is trading, because this thing made like a perfect, just like literal straight line down for all of yesterday after it started trading into the open. So I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe we should analyze some stocks like this to try to see if we can get like some kind of indication that this is what it's gonna do coming into the open. Because it was like, this would have been an amazing short play yesterday. It's down 50% from the open. Absolutely insane move down. And even if you only caught like from 270 or something like that down to its consolidation zone from yesterday is like 220. It's a nice 50-cent move, and it's like, it's like free. This thing was like literally straight down. There was like no reason to cover. So it's looking really nice. And UTME, yeah, I was talking about that before, but just way too expensive of a stock for me. Sitting at $69 right now, but yesterday it went up to 107. It's crazy. We had SOS. Just looked at. We have a few other things that are down today. ASTC might be even in for more of a down move, but it's just definitely trading on significantly lighter volume than yesterday, so I'm not going to try to take a trade on it. I think it's good to keep in mind, these longer short plays. And I kind of be willing to, I'd be willing to hold longer like that, like maybe take a position before I go to work and then like let it ride. But I would need like some kind of like smart stop where it's like before the market closes, you gotta cover it. So maybe if I find a way to do that, I don't know of like a way to do that legitimately, I guess. Like I don't know if there's like a market order that I can do that with, or if I have to like set up like a bot and get like an API to just like at the end of every day in the last 5 minutes just like close out all my positions. There might be a way to do that. There's like all kinds of order types. Super smart, ECN smart, limit on close, LOO imbalance. I don't know what these order types are, but there's all kinds of types. So I assume there's probably one that you could do that with. I just need to look it up, figure it out. A lot of these low floats, man, they just like pop up in the morning and then they just grind lower and lower and lower the entire day. So once you're in the money, just like set a stop at your cost basis and just like let it ride. Alright. Gotta be coming in 8 o'clock soon, yeah. 3.5 minutes to 8. And we'll see if anything pops up. I feel like we need the market to heat up a bit. I feel like every day that the market is solid, especially days when GME is moving, it's like get a lot more people who want to hop in the stream. So these very slow days, it's like almost not worth being here. Since I just gotta sit here and wait for stocks to pop up. Like nothing that's tradable in the pre-market right now. ATNF. Look at this. ATNF coming up on some pretty serious volume. This was essentially trading on no volume. I mean, this is still extremely light volume. It was the highest volume candle of the day by a pretty significant amount, and it was on 48,000 shares. So, a little bit of volume out of nowhere, but the volume is still really, really light on this. So we can look for a setup. On the 1 minute buying over 10.05, looks like the setup, but as it pushed above 10 just now, it hit a bunch of resistance. So I wouldn't want to buy into 10.05. Wait for this to make a bit more of a pullback. Then maybe try to get a little bit of a better buy spot, like maybe off of like 967, 970 if it holds those levels. I mean, looks like a few people just putting pretty big buy orders down in the 70s. The volume is way too light to take a trade on this. This entire move so far is happening on like 20,000 shares. Essentially nothing. Keep ATNF up in this other window. We got ECOR just popped up, but also on fairly light volume. So whoa, and it's whoa. What is going on with ECOR? Thing popped up 20 cents and then pulled back 20 cents. Very strange. ATNF 3.5 million share float. Really low. But only 400,000 shares of volume on the entire day. these last few candles have been pretty light on volume, and it's also put in quite a large move, so I need to wait for this to pull back a bit before I can take a trade on it. HOFV just popped up. Let's see. Decent volume on the first 1 minute candle here. Yeah, I can check those out for you. So, we could drop SOS off. So we had ECOR pop up. What was the other one we're looking at? HOFV, HOFV. Alright, so we got HOFV over here. PAC B. PACB. Was at 37.40 yesterday. Pulled back $5 from, well, actually 2 days ago. From the high 2 days ago. What was the news on this that made this happen? No news. Interesting. That's quite a big pullback for no news. On the daily, it was trading much higher a few, months ago, 2 months ago. Well, I mean, the way that it's looking, it just put in a higher high 2 days ago, so maybe it's breaking out of its downtrend. I mean, it could be good to buy for the bounce back up. I don't actually know what this company's worth or like why it popped up on news here. It's a pretty big gap. Oh, so that was earnings. So I guess the earnings went well, and then we had a little bit of a sell-off afterwards. It could look nice for a longer-term investment, back up to what it was, but I would never trade this pre-market just because, or really going into the market, it's very light volume. Definitely need news for me to think that that's worth it. As well, we're looking over here. ATNF still moving up, but ECR. ECR is just this. It's moving a lot, but it's doing it on really light volume, so it's really not something we could take a trade on until until it kind of sorts itself out, and if some more volume comes into it. Same thing with ATNF. It's moved up, definitely made a solid move on the 1 minute, but did so on extremely light volume. So not really too much we could do about that. And then check out AVAV. Oh, AVAV, very high price stock. Similar thing, 2 months ago. So I mean, like, you're gonna see this with a lot of stocks, obviously, because the last 2 months. Well, actually, it's weird. Like the last 2 months, the market has been really strong, the overall market. But a lot of these, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say second tier really, but like not in like the top 500 tickers, have dropped quite a bit in the last 2 months. So it's like they're significantly lower than the highs that they had achieved recently. So it might be that they're gonna make a move back up. This one in particular, on this day, highest volume day since the gap here, which I assume was on some kind of news, and that highest volume day ended up being a red candle with a large wick. So this doesn't look good to me. It also couldn't make a new high. I would say that this hasn't broken out of its downtrend, or doesn't look like it's broken out of its downtrend at all. So I would be much less confident in buying this than that other one, PACB. Again, I don't always know what I'm talking about, so this is not investment advice. It's just the way I feel about the stock. So ATNF now putting a nice little dip here. Hold back on a little lighter volume, which is good. So we'll see how it looks coming up back into this 90 area. So I'm going to take a few shares here. Keep the stop pretty tight. We're going to stop at 75. 975. And if we dip below 975, we'll cut it fast. We're coming down to 975. It looks like we're getting bought up into that area. Another 10 shares as we dip down to 975 again. Looking to accumulate a bit of a position down there. And then looking for this break over 985. And if it dips down below 975, then we'll cut the position fast. So it's now putting a double bottom, like nearly a triple bottom. It's having a little trouble coming up through 985. We need someone who's willing to buy it up through that level. It just keeps tapping against it, but no buying coming in. Yeah, looking rough for the bounce off 985. So now we've put in 4 taps down here at 976. I want to see it bounce back up. Very light volume on the pullback, which is good. So tap 975, but 975 has 30,000 share buyer on it. So I'm going to add to my position there. I'm going to use that 975 as my backstop. The fact that we have such a big buyer on the tape there is looking really good for us. I want to see this pop back up. And if we come down into 975 and it looks like there's a lot of selling coming into it, then we'll take the position off. Hopefully we can take it off while we're still on that 30,000 share buyer. Next minute candle just started. 5-minute candle starts in 45 seconds. The break of the 5 minutes is going to be over 986. So we want this 5-minute candle to make a break in one direction or the other very quick after it starts. So it looks like the seller or the buyer at 975 is getting beat up a little bit. What's going on, Shamshire? Appreciate it, even if you're just lurking, just hanging out. Yeah, so just shot through 975 for a second there. Trying to take a couple of these shares off on the ask, just in case we have another dip down. But looks like we're pushing up. So this is the new 5-minute candle. A nice move on the 5-minute. Whoa. little whippy. Came up to 9.95 and then immediately sold off 20 cents. But I'd like to see this. Now our stopping point is going to be down at 9.75. Probably take off half as we come up through 10.30. As long as it continues looking good. If we hold 10 here, that's really nice. We don't really want to dip too much below 10. So I'm going to add to my position here as we're breaking up through 10 again. If we push up through to, past 10.10, then I'll take off half the position. Looks like we're dropping a little bit. I was hoping we'd see like the immediate move back up as we came up through 10, since we were looking decent holding 10 here. $9.95 seems like the place that we want to hold. Yeah, a bit of selling coming in. God, dude, these fills are just horrendous. I took off 10 shares just because it looks like we're pushing down a bit. But we want to see this come back up. Yeah, this thing is definitely not trading as well as I would have hoped. I was looking for the bump back up here, a little bit of a pullback, and then maybe we can we move back up through 10.10, but it doesn't look like it's happening. See if we can hold 9.85. Definitely did not hold that. So we're still kind of trying to trade on the 5-minute chart here, but this 5-minute candle is looking absolutely horrendous now. It broke out above 986, pushed up to close to 1010, but now it's pulled back down to below it. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, this 5-minute candle is just looking pretty abysmal right now. If this 1-minute candle comes back up and makes a nice move, maybe we'll recover from this 5-minute pullback. The move up was on solid volume. The move down was on very light volume, which is good. But still, like, the amount that it pushed down on such light volume means that people were not trying to buy it up. So, not looking too great. So now if we push back up through 990, we want to see a push back up on volume. A few orders go through at 990, but for very small sizes. Alright. Push back up through 10, looking good. Still, I mean, this thing looks like it's having a little trouble holding above 10. Really unfortunate. Still give it a second here to try to sort itself out. Spread's kind of large right now. I think there's a lot of buying happening in the middle and a lot of very, very small orders going through. Doesn't really give me the confidence to take on more shares here. Just the volume is so light on this. So now if we come back down, through 986, probably gonna take off this position. It's just not trading very well. On the 5-minute, we're still in trend. We're looking okay there. Let's look at the 5-minute. We had this breakout here that failed. And then we bought on the 1-minute down here. This break above on the 5-minute was looking really nice. And we moved it to 10-10. We pulled it back entirely, and then we kind of recovered before the end of the candle. And now we're, pulling back again. So the only thing that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about this is how low the volume is on this pullback. But this might change as we get closer to VWAP, I guess. Might get more people bailing out as we push lower. But, trading on the 5-minute, we still look okay, so I'll hold for right now. It's just, yeah, not trading super well. A little bit higher volume on that 1-minute candle, but still, really solid volume on this push up this first time back here. So, holding out for another move like that. Getting a little bit of consolidation. This like A, B, C, or A, B, C, D pattern. Yes, we're in the D right now. So, maybe we'll get a move up this time. Man, it's not even like that there's selling happening. This thing pushed up. It pushed up to 98, and then the bid and the ask just shifted down hard. And no orders went through. The bid and the ask, it was like 90 by 98, and then it shifted down to like 980 by 990 with no orders happening. So might be getting cheesed a little bit on this. Yeah, the spam messages are annoying. I need to get my bot set up at some point to just set up Nightbot or something to whatever stop them from being posted or delete them when they do get posted. As you can tell by my follower count, I do not use those. So, it's the all-natural follower count right here. Yeah, so ATNF pushing down again. We'll see how we look coming into VWAP. On the 5-minute, we still look okay. As long as we hold to 975 here. I'd say, yeah, not a ton of support coming in right here. 975. So, see if we can get out on the ask, but it doesn't look like we're getting bought up at all. So we might have to hit the bid here. Holy, that fill. Yeah. So got out really late on that. Terrible trade. Absolutely awful. I probably should have hit out a little earlier, but I was hoping we'd catch some support at VWAP. Because we did have really nice buying. I mean, it got bought up nicely here on high volume. Highest volume of the day. We had a pullback. We bought down here during this consolidation. Nice move up on volume again, and then we had a very light, we had very light consolidation with like very light volume. Like this was all looking really nice for a move back up. Yeah, yeah, I got shafted on the way out there. But that was my own fault. Like, um, that was just very poor decision making on my part. I probably should have taken off at least another half the position as we came down through 980. But I was holding, looking for a move back up just because I don't know. It was looking really good. Nice volume on the 1 minute. Then we have consolidation wedge here on very light volume. We're looking good for this move back up, but sometimes it just goes the other way. Was in it to win it today, and went the other direction on me. So let's go and see if anything else we were looking at today has any chance of coming up. VERY, not really doing too much. AVCT also pulled back. GME kind of coming up a tiny bit, still sitting above VWAP, so might have the potential to make a move up today, but I don't see it the way it's been trading in the last couple weeks. So ATNF is what we were just watching. ASTC was from yesterday. We have HOFV. This is popping up earlier, but it was pretty light on the volume earlier, so I didn't take a trade on it. But yeah, maybe HOFV is would have been the better one to watch than ATNF here. And then we also had eCore, and eCore is not really doing too much either. We also had one pop up that I was not watching because I was trading the other stock, but it seems like it's pulled back from the high. Pretty light volume. I don't expect anything too crazy to happen with that. So now HOFV made the initial move back here on lighter volume, consolidated, and then we pushed up on higher volume. So this is like pretty much the exact chart that we saw in ATNF. So now that we're aware of what happened with ATNF, try to trade this one a little bit better. HOFV. So, in the 5 minute, the buy over 505 looks good. I'd probably want to get closer to VWAP. It bounced off VWAP earlier. So a little bit of selling coming in. Just broke down through what it was sitting at before. Oh yeah, we're getting a little bit of a sell-off. So this is exactly what we saw with ATNF, Nice first move. Second move on higher volume, even better. And then, we had a pullback on lighter volume, which was good. Tiny bit of consolidation on this one, but then it just, just dropped through the floor. So a little bit unfortunate there. ATNF. Yeah, this stuff's just not trading well this morning. This one had a nice bump. So did ATNF, but kind of came out of nowhere. Where it's like trading on lighter volume. And in the past few weeks, we've seen things like this when they start consolidating near VWAP and then trading at lighter volume. They end up, just rolling over. But we had two stocks in a row now, ATNF and HOFV, that popped up on the second move instead of rolling over, which is interesting. Kind of a little different from what we've been seeing lately. But then after the second pop, it seems like they're just selling off. So we can look at ATNF now. It just dropped straight through 70 here. Yeah, so I ended up losing, 20, 25 cents a share on these. Just definitely poorly managed. um, yeah, I shouldn't have. So I took on 30 shares. I think my original cost basis for the 30 shares was, somewhere around 81. And then as we pushed up through 10, I bought some more shares at 10 when it dipped back below, like looking for the move back up. So my cost basis went up a bit. And I think so I had taken off half at some point, up above 85. So when it came down with 20 shares, my cost basis was like 989. And I went from 989, and I think I got out, somewhere in the low 60s. So yeah, close to 25 cents a share on 20 shares when it moved down there. So just definitely poor management on my part. As it came closer to VWAP and it wasn't looking like it was going to hold, I wanted to give it a second just because, of the way it was trading previously, it looked okay. But yeah, it just came down and blew through it. Probably should have taken off another half as we came down through 80. Could have saved myself some pain there. I think I'm generally I generally trade safer, and I think because I do that, I miss some opportunities sometimes. So because this was looking good, and it was like like the first opportunity we had seen in a while on the long side that actually looked pretty solid. Um, I tried to stay in there for the move back up, but didn't end up working out. So what am I down now? I lost $5 on ATNF and $3 on VERY. Just getting torn up today. HOFV, two nice 5-minute candles here. This 5-minute candle is the highest volume candle of the day for HOFV. And now we're getting a little bit of a tick back up coming into VWAP. So HOFV might be one to take a trade on. On the 1 minute, this is a very high volume red candle, so I don't love the look of that. I'm definitely going to be more safe on this, just because we saw in the last, when we saw ATNF, it kind of just sold off seemingly randomly, and this also sold off a bit. As it tried to tick back up here and then sold off harder. So I'm going to be safe on this. I'm only going to take a trade on it if it actually makes a decent setup. And we're coming into 8:30 now, so hopefully at 8:30 we'll get something else to trade. "15 seconds. How was SPY doing yesterday? Let me actually look. SPY still sitting pretty, man. All-time highs. Absolutely insane. This chart is just like literal madness. What even is this? Just absolutely insane, dude. Whoa, what a jump. ORBC. What is this news? Oh, it's being bought out. Well, it's useless to us. Yeah, so ORBC getting bought out, so it's just going to be pinned at that price. So really not a trade to make there. BISL, pushed up a bit here on pretty high volume. So we'll see what this ends up doing, but maybe we'll be able to take a trade on this. Already volume has dropped off quite a bit though. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait for a setup on this. On the 1 minute now, buying above 333 is probably the place to buy, but breakouts have not really been doing it for us lately. So probably wait for a better setup on that. SFET also coming up. Lower price stock, also lower volume, so let's say I'm not super sold on that. So take some of these other things off the watch list here, and yeah, so nice volume on the first move, but the volume's not really there at the moment. On this dip, we would have liked to have seen this turn around a lot quicker. I mean, it pretty much pulled back more than 50% of its move. So yeah, it's just not great. Right. So GME still moving up a bit. Looking all right. ATNF now sold off completely. All these stocks that have been popping up today, I don't have shares to borrow on them on either broker, so can't go short on anything that I've seen yet today. ECOR kind of just moving sideways. APRE, not anything that we care about. So, what are the ones to watch right now? We can keep an eye on VISL. AVCT and Very are probably not gonna to make a move up at the moment. Yeah, we can watch ATNF, but I don't know. HOFV probably the one to watch as opposed to ATNF. But it seems like everything is just pulling back at the moment, so not really too much to keep an eye on. Quite unfortunate. Yeah, yesterday was a little bit of a rough day. Got that one stock though, it just went absolutely bonkers. I was watching it coming into the open. Little high price for me, definitely. But thing went nuts. Coming into the open, it was sitting at around $50. Came up, halted up, opened like $10 higher, hit hit the limit up again, but didn't actually halt. Then halted down, and then just went insane. Went up $40 a share over the next 35, 40 minutes. So absolutely crazy move by that. I was definitely not in it, but if you guys were, congrats. Very light volume though. The thing, like, when I was watching it down here, like, I mean, to me, it was like literally untradeable, just because the spreads were like insane. Um, when it was between $60 and $70, the spreads were like $2 or $3. So it's like if you wanted to buy on the, like, you pretty much had to buy on the bid. You couldn't buy on the ask, because buying on the ask, you would have automatically been like down $2, and then if it dropped another, and it was swinging like $2 or $3 each direction. So it wasn't like spread was $2 and it dropped 50 cents and you can get out of it. It was like the spread was $2 and then all of a sudden it dropped $5. So yeah, definitely not something that I would ever trade, but I assume that there were definitely people who were in this, on this push up to $100, and that was a crazy move. Gotta have some big balls to do that. I cannot do that. Maybe one day, but today is not that day. But yeah, now it's pulled back pretty significantly. Same thing with ASTC. I was talking about it this morning. ASTC, we were watching yesterday, and coming into the open, it was looking decent. We took a trade on it in here, and it looked nice pushing up, and then it just like spiked down super hard on this 5-minute candle, and then pulled back the rest of the day. So definitely a great one for a short trade on it. Pretty much lost 50% of its value from high yesterday. So we need to find some more like this, like figuring out how to like fingerprint things that um, are coming up. I mean, this 5-minute candle looks brutal, so this is like serious death candle here. So if I was going to take this short, maybe I would consider it as it came up to VWAP and then failed again. Obviously, in hindsight, that looks like a great thing. I don't know if I would have seen it at the time, but I need to work on my short trading in general. As opposed to like trading long. Trading long, if you want to see stuff have ascending support, right? So you want to see it put in higher lows every time it dips down. I guess with short trading, you want to see the inverse. You want to see it have lower highs every time it comes up. So in this 5-minute candle, as it pushed up, we want to see it top out at at a lower price than the previous 5-minute candle that we saw here. So it's interesting. Yeah, try to look out for trades like that. Definitely. Trying to trade short more, since trading short more has been seemingly working more in this market. Yeah, long trades just haven't been doing it for me. Alright. Bring up HOFV again. So HOFV making another push up here. I obviously missed that. We'll see how it acts coming back into VWAP if we get the pullback. It's another one where, I mean, it's moving, but like the moves that it's making are so small. This breakout in the 5-minute was huge compared to a lot of these candles on the day, and the breakouts 12 cents, 13 cents. So it's just like you can't really expect much from these breakouts. So buying into strength on this is not really something I want to do. I want to buy as it dips, and if it makes a high or a low, then I want to try to buy off those levels and then probably take profit pretty quick. VISL now pushing up on the 5-minute, move above 320 is looking solid, but yeah, I don't know. This last candle, huge tail, which is good, but very 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 light volume, very light volume. And the first candle pulled back literally half of its move after it came up on news, so it's not looking super strong to me. Usually, you like to see it hold, at least like 75% of the move that it makes. So it's just going to be a little bit more of a waiting game. Not really too much to do this morning. Also, I'm getting vaccinated this morning. So, after the stream, I gotta go drive over to the pharmacy. And once I'm vaccinated, I can do anything. But I'll probably still just sit in my house and do nothing, so, you know. HUFV pushing up again now. Another 5-minute candle making a new high. And we're 2 minutes into this 5-minute candle. VISL also coming up a little bit, but made a 1-cent breakout. Still extremely light volume on VISL, so I won't take a trade on that until it looks better. HUFV on the 1 minute now, 9 green candles in a row. So expect to see a bit of a pullback. Definitely. Now we'll see in this pullback if it does in a high volume, and then how it acts as coming into VWAP. And if it looks okay coming into VWAP, maybe we'll take some shares off VWAP. So that's really off of $5 is the place to buy if it looks like it's holding at $5. On the 5-minute, it's got so much room down on this last 5-minute candle that it's hard to trade off of this. I mean, technically it could come back down closer to 490, but we wouldn't want it to come down that far. We wanted to definitely hold closer to $5. Oh god, yawning so much. Another high volume 5-minute candle, or higher volume. These candles are pretty solid so far, but both these red candles back here, have had more volume. Well, then I guess than this first one. The second one is putting in more volume, but the second candle has also moved significantly less than this first one. So it's high volume, but the move we're getting is actually smaller. So we're definitely encountering a little bit more resistance coming up into the pre-market high levels. Like I said, I'm not willing to buy into that until we get a pullback. Because our first profit target is going to be the push through 520. We're already at the breakout's going to be at 515, so it's like 5 cents, and then we would have to hold through a pullback down through $5, so it's like 15 cents on the downside. VISL pushing up right now, kind of getting a little bit more volume coming into it, but another one where buying into this breakout, our upside and our downside are essentially equivalent. So I don't love I don't love the profit loss ratio on that trade. And finally, HOFV put in a red candle. So we like to see a couple more of these. If it doesn't come down closer to $5, I don't think I'm going to be willing to take a trade on it. Since we're working with such small margins here. So just push down through 505 and a little bit of a selling spike there. So get it up on my active trading window. Like I said, no shares to borrow on any of these stocks, so we can't take anything short today. Really, this 5-minute candle is not a great sign since, we're putting in a lower high now. But we might be in for a little bit of consolidation. So it's like the ABCD setup. We have the first move down, the second move's up. We'll have a third move that's down, and then in the fourth move that goes up, it should break out. And if it doesn't, then we'll get out of the position. But we want to see it get closer to $5 before we take a trade on this. Otherwise, we can't really justify the price that we're getting in at. Like maybe as it came down through 503 here, it would have been a decent place to take some shares on it. But pretty much as soon as it spiked down to 503, it immediately shot back up. And also, we're looking for a 5-minute setup on this, so the 1 minute is less important here. Just want a little bit more of a pullback. Nothing popped up on news at 8:45, so we're still just we chilling. SFET's come up a tiny bit. Very low price stock. We're fighting for literal cents here if we're taking these breakouts. If we bought for the breakout even down here, the breakout up through VWAP, which this is kind of in a situation where it wasn't really looking super, super strong. But even if we bought right here at VWAP, we're fighting for 10 cents. Our first profit target probably would have been at 162, so yeah, almost exactly 10 cents to the first profit target. So not not super great. And then we're gonna be holding down 5 or 6 cents. So the ratio is all right, but we also have to take probably at least 100 shares on it to make any decent amount of money. So it's just not great. I generally don't like trading lower price stocks like that unless they're really making a move. If a lot of volume is going into them, but even so, I mean, on this entire move here on the 1 minute, it's trading like 40,000 shares of volume on these 1 minute candles. Now it pushed up to like close to 200, but for a low price stock, that's really not very much at all. Low price stocks that are making really large moves, you'll see them push a million plus shares of volume in 1 minute candles when they're really looking good. HOFV really not pulling back as much as we would like here. Doing so on extremely light volume at the moment. I'd really like to see a push down into 5, and then we can kind of see how it's looking as it comes down into $5. Seeing if it's catching some support, seeing what buyers are stacked up as we get closer to $5. have a bit of support. The support and resistance that's sitting on the tape right now is, I guess, for how much is being traded, it's a lot. We have 60,000 shares sitting at 506 at the moment. And our 1 minute candles are pushing, not much volume in the last 5 minutes. So with the volume that we're currently putting out, it would take, two entire candles of selling volume only to push through this 506 level. And then we have a 40,000 share buyer directly underneath it. So we need to see some bigger sell orders come through to try to push this down if we're going to get a move back down. SFIT, continuing to grind higher, so. Alright, HOFV, push down. Literally looked away for like a quarter of a second, and it was sitting at 501. It pushed down to 5. I didn't see what it looked like down in that area, though. That's why you gotta always be keeping an eye on it. Alright, so we're pushing into 502, 501. You know, 2,000 shares. Yeah, not like 3,500 shares sitting at 502. Not a ton of not a ton of support on the tape. We got 80,000 share seller sitting at, or 8,000 share seller sitting at 505. So looks like we might get a push down into $5 here. $5. Ooh, $5 got eaten up, man. There was 13,000 share buyers sitting at $5. Immediately got torn through. Had a lot of really big orders go through at 5. So I think it's still looking, okay here. Just immediately got bought up through 5, which is good to see. Spreads, bid-ask sitting closer to 5 right now. I'm gonna take a few shares here. Stop's gonna be extremely tight. I bought at 501. My stop's gonna be 499. So we're looking for the move back up. I saw some support coming back onto the tape at $5. And it looked like some of the resistance had dropped off. So I'm buying for the move back up. Like I said, it could be like a ABCD on the 5-minute. So we'll see how this next 5-minute candle moves. Like I said, if we immediately drop below 499 here, then I will sell off these shares I'm holding. SFIT pulling back a little bit now. A little bit of resistance on the tape at 501. 30 seconds to the next 5-minute candle starting. So we'll see what this next candle does here. If we push up immediately through 503, I think we're looking good. Quite a bit of resistance here. We got 12,000 share seller sitting at 502. So if we start ripping through that, then we're looking good. So this is really like a bounce off VWAP we're trying to take here. Um, and then looking for the move back up to the pre-market highs. Alright, so we got we ripped through 502, which is good. So we want to see the continuation up here. Don't have a ton of shares, so not really going to be looking at making too much on this trade. Our first profit target is going to be as we come up through, 514 into 520. So, we're looking at like a 20-cent profit target there. Only holding 20 shares. Probably should have bought some more. But, we took the bounce off VWAP. Our stop was extremely tight, so we weren't risking too much money as we came down there. So yeah, looking for the move back up. And also, we're going to be coming into 9 o'clock soon. So maybe we'll get some volume coming in as we get closer to 9 o'clock on HOFV. And now moving up through 507 is looking good for us if we can break 507 on this 5 minute. Yeah, now really our bailout point is going to be essentially our cost basis, which is 501. So moving up, nice. Got some volume coming in closer to 9 o'clock here. Countering a little resistance popping up through 510. Yeah, and this isn't really a candle you want to see. Pretty big wick right now on this 1 minute candle. We'll see if it can reclaim, reclaim these levels. But yeah, we don't want to see this. We don't want to see the big wick on a 1 minute here. Nice, pushing back up. Also, we're seeing some increased volume coming in, which is great. Yeah, we want to see continued volume coming in as we're coming into 9 o'clock. And hopefully we get a nice breakout over the pre-market high at 9 o'clock. So now our 5 minute candle. So coming into 9, we have to hold above 507. If we don't hold above 507, then we're going to get a false breakout in the 5 minute, and I expect we'll probably get a sell-off at 9 o'clock. Yeah, so we're pushing down right now. Yeah. So, hit my cost basis. I hit out. I made 1 cent on that trade. But yeah, this is definitely not what you want to see. That's quite a lot of selling coming into it. If it holds below 507 now, coming into 9 o'clock, it's a false breakout in the 5 minute. And the other stocks that we've seen today that have pushed down like this have continued pushing down. So I'm just not sold on its strength right now. So hit out before I turns around on me and I lose money on this position. Yeah, what a candle this last one was on the 1 minute. And it looks like it may recover, but I mean that selling was just this is just like what we've been seeing for the last few weeks. It's just coming into the highs, there's always weakness on these. 15 seconds on this candle. And it looks like it's going to close below 507. 5 seconds. Last print at 506 or 505 even. So yeah, I don't know. I just do not like the way it looks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some selling off coming in now in this next candle. This breakout really, on the 5 minute really needed to hold. Right, we got stock popping up at 9 on news. DOGZ has come up, about 20%. Decent volume at the moment. See if we get some continued volume coming in here. It's just crazy that the momentum has really just not been in here. It's like, you have that initial like bot buying on the news, but I don't know, man. It's just people, especially pre-market, are extremely unwilling to buy at the moment. The overall market has been so solid. I just find it very strange. So DOGZ making a breakout above the first candle, which is good to see. We haven't seen that in a while. So now we want to hold the move here. Does not look like it's holding the move very well. Yes, now we have, similar thing that we've seen a bunch of times where it has a move up, nice move up, then false breakout on higher volume, pulled back half the move that it made. It's just like the story of our life for the last few weeks. DOGZ. Let's see. DOGZ also no shares to borrow on that, so can't take it short. Has 18,000 shares seller sitting at $2.20. So I have a feeling it's not going to make it over there. Yep. So everything's just coming down. Let's see, VERY. VERY looks like it's ticking back up a little bit, but obviously still has got a ways to go. Maybe one to watch coming into the open. Just came above VWAP. A little bit higher volume this time around, but still not very much at all. I don't know, might be one to watch. AVCT still pulling back. GME coming back down a little bit, still sitting above VWAP though. ATNF just completely sold off. We obviously got wrecked down here. Bounced off VWAP, and then came just screaming down through VWAP, and it hasn't turned back, so just keeps falling back. VISL also turned around. HUFV, still holding this near $5 level. But, all of the selling that came in here is just, I don't know. It's just not great. The fact that it couldn't hold this 5-minute breakout, it's just looking a little questionable. SFET now pulled back a significant portion of the move. It's now sitting below VWAP. And ECOR also sitting below VWAP. So, not really anything that looks too great right now coming into the market open. All looking a little weak, fortunately. HOFV is still in consolidation here, so it definitely has the potential to move back up, but coming into these highs now on the 5-minute, it's put in 2 lower highs, so it really is not looking very good. We are in a little bit of a consolidation wedge here, but really this first 5-minute candle was the breakout candle where it was like we pushed up above it. That was when we needed the volume to come in to make the move, and it just just completely fell through. So I wouldn't take a trade on this next breakout just because, yeah, we did see this selling coming into these levels, so I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens again. It is after 9, so maybe there's some new people in here who are willing to buy it up. But we'll watch here for a second and see. And now little false breakout on the 1 minute. Very high volume candle on the 1 minute compared to like the last hour essentially, and it was mostly selling. So yeah, coming up over 510, it looks like it's having a lot of difficulties pushing up. But someone's supporting it right now. There's 23,000 share buyer at 510. So it looks like they're having a little bit of a fight here in this area. Double topped at 512. About the same buyers and sellers sitting on both sides of the tape. DOGZ also pushing up again, but essentially double topped. Barely broke out by 1 cent. Yeah, there's just nothing trading great right now. So probably end the stream here. Things that I'm watching into the open. I mean, we'll watch HOFV into the open. Maybe DOGZ if it starts coming up. The ANTF is completely sold off. SFET might be one to watch. But besides that, I mean, there's nothing that's really been too great. I assume PETZ is in some way related to DOGZ. Just a just a thought. But PETZ also popping up a little bit, but really not doing too much. So, end the stream here. Those are the two that I'm going to be watching into the open, but not super excited about either of them. Keep an eye on GME just in case something goes on with that, but yeah. So, hope you guys have a good trading day today. Hope everyone makes money, and I